Hello everybody, it is Demo Donna here with Pink and Maine, and I am excited to have my Wednesdays back and be back with you doing some lives. So tonight I'm going to be playing with some new products that were just released last week, and I am very excited to also be blending in some existing products over at Pink and Maine. And I hope you are all doing great. If you're watching live, thank you for joining me. I know we've got another live event happening, so make sure you check that out as well. Maybe after this or switch back and forth, whatever works for you. And if you're watching the replay, thanks. Leave a comment. Hi, Karen. I love to hear from all of you, especially if you're seeing a new product for the first time. If you're new to Pink and Maine, if you're new to foiling, stamping, embossing, anything, just type away. After the live, I usually go back and check everything out. So I really enjoy reading all your comments and I try to answer them. So, well, hello, Irma. Okay, we are going to go. Hello, Melanie. We are going to go to my demo view now. And let's get started. All right, so I am tinkering with my monitor. There we go. I think I'm now like demo person number 3 to be showing you alive using this kit. And I guess if all of us love it, you know, chances are you guys are going to love it too. So if you haven't picked up the stamp and die set, which also has foil option as well, make sure you check this out. This is Go Wild, and I am using the stamp and the dies. I will also show you that there are foilables as well that are the same size as the stamps and the dies. So you can use your dies with it as well, which is so cool. That is such an awesome feature. I love having the different options with, do I want to stamp it with just a die ink, emboss it, or foil it? So lots of cool options. We are going to be stamping tonight and embossing. I know Caitlin also did a stamped or showed you a bunch of different of these Go Wild critters. Maybe they're not really critters. I guess these guys are more like critters and these are, you know, wild animals or, you know, something cute from the zoo. Okay, I'm also going to be playing with the Amazing Water Gems. I love them. This is another new die, and I went ahead and cut a bunch out. And I am going to show you the, oh, maybe I'm not. Maybe I pulled the actual dies out. But these dies are called the Leaves 3. And they are also released. And what is very cool about these is you get the outline as well as the actual solid pieces. So you can use these alone or you can put these together. Tonight we are going to be using them together, and we are going to get started with that because I need a little bit of dry time. So I am going to take, I'm just going to use this paper towel as my background, and I am going to do, there are 3 different stems. I'm just going to use 2. Yeah, that makes me happy. And for my first one, I am going to use Sunny. I am going to use Citrine. And I am going to use Flamingo. So I'm going to do a pink, orange, and yellow color combination. I'm also using the Easy Flow water brushes, which are fabulous because, you know, if you're like me, sometimes you forget to add a little water, little basin for you when you're doing watercoloring. So having these handy and fully loaded with water is a dream come true for someone like me who then doesn't have to think. So I am going to just apply bold color. And remember, I am also putting the black right over it. So I am going to do a couple different leaves. For those of you who've watched me demo before, I say I learned all my coloring skills from kindergarten. So if you are a little color shy, I am definitely more on the beginner level of coloring or doing like mixed media. I definitely like to play around with everything, so I've never really considered myself advanced at anything. I just like to dabble in it all. So, spread my creative wings as much as possible. I am now going to go to this guy here. What is everyone's Halloween plans? I hope you guys are doing some sort of fun. Handing out candy is fun and all, but it's good to do some grown-up fun things too sometimes. Maybe hang out with the grandkids. I don't like anything scary, but maybe going to like a haunted house. I'm a chicken, always have been. Okay, I am going to clean my brush. Another reason why I love these brushes, they clean up really nice, and I am just squeezing out a little bit of water and rubbing my brush clean. And then I am using my lid again to create a little bit of a palette for me to blend the powder with the water. And I am going to go right on my leaves again. Just grab a couple, and clearly not your traditional leaf color. Pink, orange, well maybe flower petals, but who knows. In my jungle that we are creating today, we have pink, orange, and yellow leaves. Just wanting to have some fun. I'm a little pink obsessed, I must admit. Okay, I am going out with 6 of my girlfriends this Saturday, and we are all dressing as Mrs. Roper, which is going to be hilarious, from Three's Company, and we are doing a Mrs. Roper romp. So going out in public like this, it should be interesting. I'll definitely post some pictures over on my Demo Donna Design Studio so you guys can have a good laugh. Basically, with curly red hair, I feel like I look like either my son or my mother. Kind of a combination of both. Okay, there is my coloring of the leaves. So you can obviously color them like I did. You can even just cut them out if you want a nice solid color. So I'm going to set these aside. I'm actually going to set them over on my little mink, and I'm going to let them dry. And I'm going to make 2 cards, pretty similar, but just 2 different color palettes. So for this one, I am, again, maybe just so it's a clean view, we'll grab a new paper towel, and I'm going to take those same 2 leaves, and I'm going to move these guys and pull out my next colors. And again, if you haven't used the water gems, there are so many fabulous uses. Watercoloring just like this, you can create amazing backgrounds through stencils. You can color paste. You can color your touch of gloss. You can color glue. You can use it in a squirt brush and create different color mists. So there are tons of fabulous things you can do with your water gems. I've been playing with different types of different brands, but I've been probably using something similar to this for 20 years for a lot of different techniques. Okay, with this one, I'm going to be a little bit more, I'm going to go in more of a nature type color palette, but I'm going to just add some greens, and I'm just brushing some color on. Kind of want it to be more green, and then everything else be like an accent. So kind of going over my sloppy brushing and finishing it up. Too, you can use with the Easy Flow water brushes, there's a bunch of different sizes, which is fabulous. And I always use this little one, but with this technique, I could have definitely grabbed a larger brush, which would have made this go a little bit faster, but that's okay. We love our time together, don't we? Okay, I am now going to take, this brown is really dark and I kind of forgot about that. Haven't used it in a while, but that's okay. The nice thing about watercolors is you can kind of blend them out. I'll have one really dark one, maybe 2, so it's not alone. And again, these are gonna have that black outline to it, which is going to frame it. Kind of look like it's more colored in the frame. And I also created, and I'm going to show you guys this, it's really cool. I did like a stained glass effect with these as well by cutting this outline part, or this back part, cutting it out with some acetate and then coloring on top of the acetate, which was a lot of fun. Okay, I'm going to clean up my brush. We're going to do this little guy. I need to add a little bit of brown to this so it kind of matches. There we go. All right, and that is going to be my second version. Again, I'm going to set this aside so you can see you can have a lot of fun with this. You can make it very bright and bold or very subtle and more realistic color palette. I am setting them on my little Mink machine, great drying station for those to dry. And I'm gonna pull all of these aside. I'm gonna show you my watercolor. Not my watercolor, my stained glass that I did while those are drying. So these are nice and transparent, as you could see. And like I said, I cut out acetate and then I put on those outlines, and I actually used the touch of gloss. I would fill in each section, and then I used my watercolors. So that was a really fun technique. I was just playing around to see what cool different things you can do with this fun new die. Okay, now that we have those colored and drying, I am going to take all of these guys and set them aside, and we are going to emboss our adorable little zebra is the guy I'm going to use tonight. And I am going to not do that because I'm going to make a huge mess, which is an amazing talent that I have. You know, it's a gift, us crafters. We can totally make the world's biggest mess in the tiniest space and leave like this much room for us to work, right? Who's with me on that? Okay, the two colors that I'm using tonight for my zebra are Frosting and Sangria. I already stamped and embossed, actually both of them, but I'm going to still do my white one for you. But here is Sangria. This was released earlier this year. Beautiful color. It's like a raspberry with a beautiful shimmer of that glitter in it. So this is my zebra number one. And then for my second one, I am going to do a black and white zebra. So normally what I would do is I would take my black piece of paper and I would cut a bunch out and emboss them all and then pick, you know, the one or all of them that I like and go ahead and die cut it. But when I do lives, I try not to die cut just because it kind of takes a little longer and I like playing instead. So I do the reverse when I do lives. I am going to take this brush here, which is fabulous. If you do a lot of embossing, this is a really great tool. And this is the Magic, I want to say it's the Magic Static Free brush. You know, I usually have all of this stuff written down, but that's what happens when you clean up your surface. There we go. So this is a really great tool to have handy, especially so when you're doing black powder on white paper or white powder on black paper, those show everything. So I just, gosh, my shadow is so big. I'm so sorry. I just realized that. Okay. Back to what I was saying. Back to you guys in the studio. When you have really contrast colors like black and white, it's really good to make sure that you don't get any splatter of your embossing powder. And if you're heat embossing, there are definitely tricks along the way to help you get a nice crisp look. So a nice wet embossing ink, so anything that says embossing or pigment, watermark for Versamark, and you want it to be nice and juicy. So a nice wet stamp ink pad really helps. You also want to make sure you have an adorable stamp like this zebra. I am going to hover right over it and stamp down. There we go. Give it a good push. Works for me. Take my little finger tool and just kind of pull it straight down. And then I am going to go ahead and heat emboss my zebra. I need this guy on my coffee filter. And I am using Frosting, which is a white embossing powder by Pink and Main. So I just sprinkled some of that on, and then I'm going to tap that off. If you have any, I always blow on it just a little bit. I mean, it just kind of moves off any little speckles that might still be there. So now I'm going to take my heat tool and I'm going to heat it from the center out and then switch and do it on both sides. So you can really see the difference. The grainy is not yet embossed, and that beautiful shine has been embossed. So that's always also a really good way to tell whether you've hit everything with your heat tool or not. And I always blow away from myself. Make sure you're not hurting your fingers. You can, of course, use some tweezers. There we go. And voila, you have a cute little zebra. Like I said, a nice thing, what I typically do when I'm just creating is I stamp a bunch out on paper first, and then I will die cut my favorites. I just wanted to show you guys this guy too. Since these are nice and bold, it's really fun to mix and match your embossing powders. So this is Sour Lemon and Orange Pop. So have fun with it. I really love when you've got a nice solid image for your stamps because you can do a bunch of different creative things versus just a really fine line image. Okay, I am now going to figure out what foils we want to use. That's always fun. Okay, because you know, there are a lot of decisions to make these days with the foiling. The longer I work, the harder it gets to choose what my favorite is. So I wanted to use this awesome background. So the foilables are the animal print foilables. Such cool designs. I cannot wait to use these with some of the greens. Beautiful. So I'm going to take one of these sheets and we are going to cut it in half so we can create 2 cards. So I am going to pull up my paper cutter. Here we go. And I am going to cut this to 4 1/4, just like that. And now I have 2 pieces. There we go. Done and done. And now I actually pulled out 3 different foils. So I have the vintage black, which looks pretty cool. I've got the purple streaks, and I've got this like ombre pink, yellow, and orange. And I think I'm going to play with this one for my pink one. So just to see what it looks like. So we are going to take this foil on our zebra, which I'm excited. It's going to look really cute with our leaves. Very similar color palette. Speaking of, those are nice and dry, so we can set those aside. And we are going to pull over our mini ink machine. All right, guys, raise your hand. Who out there has still not foiled? Are you on the fence? Have you tried foiling yet? I think I was on the fence for 2 whole years. I had my mom who was working with Pink and Main, which is how I learned about Pink and Main. My mom just raved about it and would talk about it all the time, how much she loved it, how cool it was, how easy it was. So after 2 years, I'm now hooked. It's really hard now to make a card without it. It's like once you learn that new technique, it's so hard. And I know I've hooked some of you out there. So welcome and sorry. I didn't know it would be this addictive. Especially how easy Pink and Main makes it with all these awesome foilables and the sheets and the designs and the toner sheets. Like, it's just cool. Okay, I took my little brush here and wiped everything up. You want to make sure that nothing on the no toner on this printed sheet is touching your little folder, because that is going to basically stick to the folder. So the toner will heat and stick to the folder, your clear folder. I don't think it actually affects foiling in the future. It just makes your clear sheet not so pretty anymore. So when you get your pink, oh, I'm sticking, my lacy arm is sticking to everything. There we go. When you get your machine, you actually get, I think, 1 sheet and a couple samples of foil in it in the little mini Mink machine. And it's funny because, like you, those of you who are on the fence, I was like, I don't have room for another machine, and I don't have room in my craft room for another bunch of colors and things, but here I am, happy to have them in my craft room. Okay, you're gonna let this dry. Why don't we let that dry? And I am going to use the black vintage too. I think that is gonna be really cool. So, and I know I said let this dry. I meant let that cool. So we'll set you over there. In the meantime, we're gonna do the same thing. You wanna wipe away. Make sure you don't have any hairs, glitter, flocking, cat hair, dog hair, kid hair, you know, any of that. Then open up your little folder here. I need to, it's on my list, get the larger folders so I can actually foil a whole sheet without cutting it in half, which would be really fun too. Okay, I'm gonna run that through. And while that's running through, we are gonna open up this guy. Woo, so fun. So you can see in the light, the pink and the orange and the yellow. Very cool. And then don't throw this away. This is where your toner sheets come in handy. Okay, I also did this guy here. So this is the, I believe it is Purple Streaks. So I did this one as well, which is really fun. And it might be, excuse me, I shook the whole desk. I don't know, I think I might, we'll see what happens. We'll see which one I choose. All right, I'm gonna take this guy out, let it cool. And remember, something else like that I did show you are these awesome animals. And we're gonna do one. I am gonna take one of these sheets. So this is the Go Wild foilable sheets. And I am gonna cut out, let's see, maybe we'll cut out the elephant. Maybe we'll totally do something different here than I had planned, which is not my norm. I stick to the path. I stick to the plan for the most part. But I just wanted you guys to see how cool this was. So I'm gonna take my little foilable sheet here. Remember to cut it out a little bit larger. There you go. Okay. This guy's ready for the reveal. Oh my goodness, that is so cool. You know what's so different about this is it's not like super, super shiny. You can actually really see the detail. I know there still is a glare from my 80 lights in here, but it's not like, it doesn't have that same total like mirror shine. It's more like a satin shine, which is kind of cool. Definitely different than a lot of the other foils. Okay, I am gonna take this elephant. Well, how am I gonna do an elephant? And you know what, Donna? This is why you stick to the plan. I'm not gonna do an elephant on the zebra. Were you guys trying to tell me that? I think you were. I think you were like, demo, stick to the plan. See, and then you're gonna have to, I'm just gonna do this guy just to show you. So for those of you who are not stampers and not into embossing, the foil is another really cool option. And you can even just leave that black and white, which is really cool too. I am gonna stick this guy in here. I am also going to, I don't know if you guys saw these, I'm sure you did, because there are so many awesome lives at Pink and Maine. It's like you get tons of inspiration. I think it's pretty cool. So these are the foilables. These are the Wild About You sentiment foilables. And you get the positive and the negative. And I think I am going to do, this. I am going to cut it in half. Well, maybe I'll cut it like right about there. Let's see. Let's see what we want to do. I'm going rogue. You know, never say you don't do something, because then chances are you do it. Like, you know, I told my husband I didn't want to get married in October. That is our wedding anniversary, October. It's just the way it works, right? Okay, I am going to, that's pretty solid, so you can't really see. I think I'm going to go right here. I'm going to just cut out a couple. Huh. To a dear friend, that's funny, with the deer. I think I'm going to do a congratulations, and I always need thank you cards. Always. So I'm going to do this happy birthday and thank you too. So how fun and easy is that? You can just cut out the strips you want and then foil them. So I'm going to put my little leftovers back in there, and I can go ahead and foil these at the same time. We love that. We love being able to foil everything at the same time. So we're going to stick that in there, providing everything actually does what it's told. You stay there. And then I need another little piece of that purple. Do I want it to go that way? I think I do. Okay, who else talks to themselves? You guys all have to. I can't be alone. I think I talk about talking to myself a lot. I talk about talking to myself, and I talk about counting. Those are my fun little habits. I think that's also a great reason to have pets, because you could be like, what? I'm not talking to myself. I'm talking to my dog. Okay, I'm going to do that one there. Remember, make sure you cover up all of your toner sheet. And I'm just going to use what I had left of this one. There's no wasting in crafting. There we go. Yay! Okay. And I'm going to put it in this way just so nothing moves around. Make sure all of your toner is covered up. I'm excited. I haven't played with these little words yet. I normally stamp and emboss a sentiment, so this will be fun. And I've still got to decide which of my bases. So I'm definitely going to use that one. And then the solid pink or the ombre. I think I'm going solid pink. Or purple streaks, shall we? All right, everybody. This is always the best part. I do kind of feel like a little bit of a magician. I am done foiling. Turn that bad boy off. I store it in this amazing place called the floor next to my desk. Hey, we do what we can, us crafters. Okay, peel this off. Ooh, that is so fun, but a little, oh no, you can definitely read it better here. But that's good to see that. I think that congratulations stands out really well. So I'm going to trim that. It's not super easy to read because of the silver and the white. So that's something to keep in mind. Definitely with smaller pieces. I think this purple is going to be much easier to read. And there it is. Happy birthday, much easier to read because it's a nice contrast with the dark purple and the white letters. Looks so cool. I love it. Okay, so we've got that and that. And just to show you guys, again, a nice alternative from stamping and embossing. A totally different look, but fun. Okay, and you can absolutely use this guy. Now let's put our little card together, shall we? We've got to first glue these guys. Oh my goodness, I didn't test any of my glues. We know that's going to be an issue. Okay, I'm going to grab this really fine tip one and hope it likes me. I am going to now take my matching outline pieces. So I've got this one for the large one and this one for the smaller one. And since this is just, I love when I just put glue all over my hand, don't you? I'm just going to do a quick rundown, make sure. I really went glue heavy, but since it's a clear glue, we'll be good. Grab that on there, and you kind of want to move it around, but that looks really fun. And of course my glue will dry clear. There is my first one. And this big one here, I'm just going to do a line down the middle, kind of quick, kind of sloppy. Maybe just add dots to the tops of these, which will be enough because we're gluing paper to paper. And again, you're going to start in one spot, like the bottom here. Okay, you guys cooperate. And I am just going to use my finger tools to put everything where it needs to go. So just kind of squish it down and move to the next one. And it is okay if it's not totally perfect. It is watercolored after all. So it's got that artsy vibe to it. There we go. So I've got those two done. And I already did some pink ones, so you don't have to watch that process all over again. Look at that. Alrighty, I am also going to be using these frames. So that is from the frame dies, and they are right here. And these are super cool, the stitched rectangle frame dies. I use the largest one a lot. I had a lot of black left over the second size, so I'm going to use that for this one, and just kind of a different way to use your frame. So I'm going to just take my frame, add the glue, and it's going to basically be framed inside of my card here. So I'm going to drop that down. There we go. I'm going to do the same to this guy. Add that second size. I haven't done any using this size just as a frame. Sorry, I keep running into everything. The table, my phone. Maybe I'm a little rusty. Has it been a week? Maybe 2? Okay. So there are my 2 frames. Now I'm going to take the banners, and these were released a little while ago. I'm going to use this pink one. I could have even done a pink frame. This guy's going to go here. They're going to be a little different. You know, then you can choose which one's your favorite. This one's going to go on the inside. I think I'm going to go right about there. There we go. So now I've got my 2 card bases, that fun little background, that hint of foil. We are going to add our leaves. So I am going to, because these were watercolored, they're kind of curl up. And I like that. I like when I have some natural dimension happening on my card, so you don't have to glue it all the way down. Okay, I am going to go right about there. Apply some pressure. You can even stick an acrylic block on it and let it dry for a second. And I think I'm going to do, maybe I'll do this, something a little different on this one. There we go. Obviously, depending on, you can use any fun color palette. I almost grabbed purple, which would have been fun too. Set that guy down. I'm going to take this leaf up here. It's so fun playing with a bunch of different mediums. The foiling, the stamping, the watercoloring, the dyes. You know, that's the joy of being a paper crafter. We get to play with all sorts of things. Oh, I don't know where I want this guy yet. He might have to wait a minute. Okay, I have this guy cut out. Oh, I might just have him coming in. We'll see. Okay, I am going to use this guy. Oh my gosh, now I really want this guy. And I don't have my die. Okay, pretend I'm using my die, because my dies are across the room because I cut out the black one. Fussy cutting. Luckily this wasn't too bad. All right, but we never recommend fussy cutting. I don't know, I've got my embossed one, but I really love that foil matching this beautiful foiled background. So we're gonna use it. I'm gonna pop this guy up. Look at how tiny my little foam spaceship is now. It used to be so big. It's definitely shrunk. I have been very proactive on using my foam. Okay, we are gonna do 2 little bits there. Peel off the back. I'm gonna add this guy right about here. I would have been happier with my die cutting, but sometimes on a pinch, you just gotta do what you gotta do. Okay, and I think on my happy birthday, let's see this guy. We are gonna do a happy birthday. And I think I'm gonna have it coming in. Oh, should I just go on top here? I definitely like having the banner. Do, 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 do. Ooh, maybe down here. Okay, you win. I am gonna just glue this right there. This is from one of the die cutting sets. This guy right here, which I use a lot now. I love layering, so Card Cut Essentials Die Set 2. There's also set number 1. Check that out. And I think I might even have him, you know, that moment where you like it, you don't necessarily love it. Oh, I think we're going to do it like that. What do you think? I think that's fun. Okay, I'm happy. You're happy. I can hear you all. You're like, yay, woo, cheering in the background. Here, just to hopefully make you happy. Put a smile on your face on this fabulous Wednesday night. All right, I'm going to flip that over, trim that off. Whoops, ram my scissors into my card. It happens. It's wild. Fun. I think that turned out cute. I will add some bling, of course. Let's just finish this guy first. Okay, with this guy, I've got this giraffe. And you know, I don't think I'm going to use my sane. I think giraffe. Did I really just say that? Zebra. I mean, it has been a while since I've been to a zoo, sadly to say, or an aquarium. Can you even believe that? You know, when you have little people, they take you to all the fun places. Grown teenagers, you don't get to do as exciting things. I guess that's what's so wonderful about being a grandparent. You get to do all the fun stuff again. Okay, not saying I need to be one anytime soon. All right, you guys. We are almost done. I am going to put this little guy right here. I have got my beautiful green leaves, my beautiful pink leaves. I mean, you could toss your congratulations on there. I just think it's kind of hard to see, so I'm not loving it. What would be nicer, a little fix, you guys, would just be, you know what I can do? I can just add a hello. Look at that. We don't even need to foil it. And I could even do, I think he's just going to pop right there. Quick fix. Hello, I just fixed this. All right, I kind of feel like movie phone whenever I say hello. Okay, do we want a hello coming out of his bum? We'll go kind of high. There we go. I like that. It's a cute, simple little saying. You can use the card for anything. And I am going to, I think I'm going to use some of these. I have never used the silver. That's crazy. So now is the time. Oh, I did. I used 2. My bad. Okay, I'm going to put a few of these here and there. I'll put one on my hello. There we go. And one down here. Oh, maybe 2. Okay. And then for this one, I think I'm going to use this kind of shimmery one. An ombre of colors. And I think I'm going to go medium. We'll do a little trio there. And 2 guys down here. And there we go. That makes me happy. All right, you guys. We completed 2 cards. We did foiling. We did, oh my goodness, did I really just blank? The water gems, there we go. I'm like, they're not called wet gems, Donna. Water gems. Lots of fun dies. The new Go Wild Stampin' dies. The fabulous foilable sheets, foilable words. Lots of fun. Sticky gems. So I hope you guys had fun with me tonight creating these 2 fabulous cards using fabulous Pink and Main products. I had a great time with you guys too. Have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.